Welcome to the Flip Thinking Podcast. In this podcast, you'll listen to intimate conversations between Berthold Gunster and his guests. Together, they'll explore the guest's personal problem and try to make it feel lighter or make it disappear altogether. This can be achieved in different ways. Sometimes they can simply solve the problem, but more often than not, they'll find that they have to let go of expectations or views they hold about themselves. At other times, they can only observe the fact that there is a problem without judging it. And in some cases, they can flip think the problem.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you here. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Yes, my name is Job. I'm 21 years old. I was born in the south, in a village near Eindhoven, but I study in Zwolle.
Okay, and you are single, no children, pets?
I'm single.
Yeah.
And I used to do weightlifting a lot, but not anymore. I don't like it. So I changed to dancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. We can have, I think, a very interesting conversation about dancing and going from weightlifting to dancing. But I presume this is not the reason why you are here.
True.
Because the whole idea of this podcast is that we are going to look into a problem you are faced with and trying to find a way out, so to say. So my second question is, Job, what is your problem?
So, kind of my last of the 8 years I lived on this planet, I am seeking for external validation from a lot of people. I'm a people pleaser, and I kind of know of why. It's because a little bit of my personality, but also because of the past experiences.
In the last 8 years, you said, this is something. So when you were 13, you started to realize I'm a people pleaser.
When I was, I was kind of hurt when I was 14 years old. And between the 14 years old and like 18 years old, you're just in high school, teenager. You don't know what's happening. You're just getting the grades and just go to college. But in the recent years, I realized there's something going on. I'm not quite happy. I'm not myself. I also feel it's super emotional. I always please people. I cannot be myself because I don't have faith and hope in the future. It's really hurtful, but it's the reality.
I see a lot of sadness.
Yeah.
Well, this could raise a lot of questions, but maybe the first question, can you give me an example out of daily life recently where you feel frustrated or blockaded or whatever, where this problem occurs?
So I realized in the summer last year, when I went to Valencia with my friends, I felt like a big pressure to take pictures and post it on social media. After I got the likes, you feel really good about yourself.
I'm wonderful. People love me. I
really
get likes.
Annoying. After that, I realized, okay, social media is bad, so I deleted it. For that reason, because I always felt the pressure to be liked, post the best pictures of myself, so I can show off to other people, look how great I am, look how great my life is.
Could you say that in a way it felt like a red race? Chasing likes.
A lot of insecurities.
Yeah, and it doesn't help to get more secure, does it?
No, it doesn't fulfill you.
No. So you deleted
Instagram, Snapchat, my online dating, almost everything except for WhatsApp and YouTube and Spotify.
Okay. And did it help?
No, because it keeps on happening. Another example is, for example, the study. I really hate the study choice your future. I really hate that type of questions because I felt so much pressure from everyone around me. And everyone keeps giving me advice or giving me, oh, I see you doing physiotherapy, or I see you more as a therapist. I see you studying political science, communication. And I'm like, I don't know what to believe in. I don't know what to do in my life.
I don't know who I am. I don't know. I just shifted from weightlifting to dancing. So leave me alone.
I feel
this all feels like pressure from the environment, right?
True, and I really want to be satisfied with myself, but I'm also looking for the validation of others. Am I on the right track? Are you happy with or satisfied with what I'm studying? So I'm currently observing everyone's reaction, and if they don't agree with me or they have like a judgment, I feel really anxious. Sometimes the overthinking takes 2 hours on my day, and it's all about studying. So I Google because it's really easy. Just know you can grab your phone and Google. There's nothing really hard of that habit. And I just Google what should I study? What do other people think? I go to forums, read everyone's opinions. And when I see people that agree with me, then I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
But when I don't, I get really anxious. It's just this negative loop.
It's a loop, yeah. Always confirming itself in a way.
And the last example I can give you,
take your time,
is with my previous relationships. I would say I was really insecure and vulnerable in a position, and I felt like I was being used. And it was a guy I was in a relationship.
Yep.
Sexuality is a big question mark for me.
Oh, there's a new topic.
But it was with a guy, and he wanted me to be this perfect image that he wanted. And I felt...
And with you. So seeking for validation and then having a relationship with such a guy. This must be devastating, wasn't it?
It was devastating. After 6 months, I just ended the relationship. But I changed my looks. I bought clothes that I didn't want to. I quit my previous first study because he told me to. My second study was partly because he told me to study that. It's not like an excuse of my past mistakes. It's just one of the reasons why I quit my study and chose another study. I really hate this studying, changing studying. It doesn't help with confidence within yourself. And I did everything. I didn't like the sexual activities, but I did it anyway to please him. And I felt so ashamed of myself afterwards. And it was just a depressing period of my life.
Did you end the relationship, or did he do so? Or how did it end? You did.
I was really relieved when I did that.
You must have been exhausted, weren't you?
Yes. Sometimes I think he's a narcissistic person, but I don't want to...
Which combines very well with somebody who's looking for validation. That's a great relationship that can last for years.
But I can't say that because there hasn't been a test done on him.
No, and I don't believe in labels like narcissism, but I do believe in narcissistic behavior. So we are sure now, if I kind of summarize in between, that you are seeking for validation.
A lot, yes.
Yeah, this is a kind of the story of your life starting when you were 13.
14, yes.
14, 14. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So it's a year less problematic than it sounds, than I thought, starting 14. So if people would completely validate you, imagine that you live in this fantasy world, that you receive all the validation you could get. What would people then say about you?
I think they would accept my feminine traits and also my masculinity trait. It was a big deal last year because I really wanted to be masculine. It was
weightlifting and dancing. Yep,
it was a big change. No, but it's also because of social media on TV shows. Women say like, "I want to have a masculine man," and I feel like. I'm not that. I have to change. So I Google, find every information on YouTube, and it doesn't make you happy because you feel so much pressure. But anyway, I would say they would accept my feminine traits. They would not say anything negative about my body or about how I look. Also one of the reasons why I started weightlifting. And I don't know. I would sometimes think, I hope they think that I'm brave enough with the decisions I have made and with the so little succeeds I have in life. And that they think I'm brave that I quit 2 studies and chose a study that's more with my inner self. I don't like the word purpose, but that I chose a study that's
fits to you, belongs to you. Could you inform me? You said a lot of interesting things. Thank you very much. I'll come back to that. But first, could you inform me about the studies you choose and the study you're doing currently? Yes. Which are they?
Okay, so when I was 17 years old, I did my HAVO, and I was like, okay.
Dutch high school, HAVO, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
For the listeners.
Yes, for listeners.
Yeah.
I was 17 years old, and I felt so much pressure about what do you want to do in your life? There's so many questions about that from your family, from your friends, from your teachers, students. And I thought, I like helping people. I went to an open day for social work. I liked it. So I thought, didn't really look at the jobs that were after the study. It was actually quite of a bad decision.
But you thought social work fits
I like
me.
Helping people. It fits me. So I did social work for like 4 months, and then
4 months
stopped.
Which is quite long, 4 months. My son did the study for 1 day, for 1 morning, and then he quit. No, after 1 hour even. Yeah, and he was ashamed and proud at the same time. But this as an aside. So social works for 4 months, and then the second study the year after, or did you have a year in between, or?
I was told that a gap year is not for me, so I felt like
you were told. Interesting line in between. Berthold by whom and why? But forget it. You were told to choose another study and choose immediately another study the next year, right? So what was the study you choose after that?
Well, I still didn't know what to do with my life, so I chose the most broadest study, and that was business administration.
Yeah, great. You loved it, I presume? No, you didn't.
It was, COVID didn't help us well, to be honest.
Sorry?
COVID, Corona.
Yeah, which is a lonely period for starting.
Didn't help us well.
Yeah. How many months did you do business administration?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And this was something your friend told you to do so? Also, was there some push from him to this study? Your ex, right?
And my father, which I don't blame him because he just wants to have the best for his child.
Yeah, which often is a problem, but this as an aside.
But I felt the pressure to choose the study to please.
You can always find work.
To please
business
others.
administration, good study.
A good salary.
Good salary.
Job security, whatever.
Future security. You just fit in society, no worries. Do business administration, which you fulfilled for 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you quit again. Yeah, and then.
Yeah, I quit because I realized I'm doing this for other people, not for myself.
Right.
So I was like 20 years old, and I was like, crap, I have to choose another study. I felt the pressure to be left behind. And
after 2 mistakes, the third one must be good.
Yes.
Extra pressure. Every time there's more pressure.
Yes. Yeah. So, I chose the study. It's called Global Project and Change Management. Nobody knows it, but it's actually about...
Do it again, please.
Let me repeat.
Just for the listener. Global
Project and Change Management.
Great.
Which is actually comes a little bit together of social work and business administration together.
Yeah. So you combine the 2 mistakes in a new mistake.
I don't want to say it. Okay, so I chose the study because I wanted to do something with biodiversity, or I wanted to do something with fixing social problems, and maybe went to politics.
Oh, sounds all great. And when you choose this third study, was your relationship already ended by that time, or still going on?
The relationship was ended.
So this felt like your choice, not pressure like, from your ex-boyfriend.
It felt like a new journey.
Yeah. Okay. And are you still studying this, or you still?
Okay.
Which year are you now? The first year, I presume, right?
Story, no, it's second year.
Second year.
I got my for the English listeners, propedeuse is that first year of accomplishing the diploma, and I went to the second year. And I felt so much pressure. I was so confronted with so many judgments, so many opinions of other people. Told me, I can see you do physiotherapy. I can see you become
a little bit different work, right?
Therapist, yeah, it is. But so I was so insecure back then. It was 6 months ago, 4 months ago. I decided to quit. But I came back to the study. And I have now a delay of 6 months.
Yeah.
But I realized that no matter what you do, everyone has an opinion. So believe your own opinion, I would say. But I've still... Yeah.
You're talking to yourself now, right? With this last sentence.
Yeah. And what it makes it harder sometimes, the study choice and career choice, whatever, is that I find quite pessimistic about future life. I find it really boring being an adult, really repetitive. And I have so many interests. I realize that it's so hard for me to choose a study. I see myself doing 5 different jobs in the future.
Yeah.
It's really annoying because I really want to have the answers in my head, clarity for the future. I'm gonna do this and that, but I don't know, to be honest. I can see myself doing a massage therapist, if I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I can see my
dance teacher, weightlifting teacher,
coaching, podcasting, maybe politics, communication, human resource management.
You're like a normal guy.
Wildlife management.
You're like a normal guy. Yeah. Only you're like a normal guy and confused.
Like
and confused.
I'm a bit confused.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much for this explanation about your studies. So back to where we were. What I think is an interesting question to be answered is, how is this with your feminine and masculine experience of yourself? Because I have the impression, the way you were talking about this, that this gives you a kind of confusion or insecurity.
Yes.
And this reflects on how you are seeking for validation on the external world.
True.
So how is it with your feminine and masculine parts in yourself? Why are you laughing now? You're laughing? Isn't it a good? It's a good question, isn't it?
It sounds so stupid. It's a really good question, but it sounds so stupid.
Why does it sound
you make
stupid?
it such a big problem.
I don't.
Of being yourself.
I don't.
I do.
You introduced the topic. I just asking questions.
Okay.
So how is it, Job? Who am I facing?
I will tell you, Berthold.
Thank you very
When
much,
I was
Job.
a child, I was really happy. You know, I was a little bit still feminine, I would say, but I really didn't care because, you know, you were a child, you did whatever you wanted to do. You had so much energy and didn't start overthinking problems.
And children don't judge that much when they're young, right? Don't much that much. Yeah.
And
I have 3 sons. The one in the middle, when he was 6 years old, he wanted to go to school with a dress.
Oh, okay.
And we said, well, okay, if you want to do so, okay, let's try it. And then he went to school with a dress. And the next day, 6 boys went to school with a dress.
Okay.
To our surprise. To our surprise.
Interesting.
Yeah. So children have the tendency just to be open and see how things evolve and not judge one another that hard until they are 12, 13, 14 years old. And then the disaster starts. Now, back to you.
True.
Did the disaster start in Job's life too at that age? Yeah, you are nodding. Did you find pressure from your peers showing too much feminine behavior?
I wasn't accepted. So when I was 11 years old, I realized I was a little bit into men as well. So that was like a big question mark for me, and it still is, to be honest. So I went to high school, a lower level than HAVO, but I managed the first year. So in the second year, I managed to go to HAVO.
Yeah.
Which I was proud of, and that's all I wanted to do. And then the hell happened.
The hell happened, you said?
Yes. I was...
Okay, slow down. Tell me, if you want to, a colorful example of the hell you experienced. Because the hell is a big word, isn't it?
Yeah, so I went in a new class. I was really happy at that moment, you know, the first week. And slowly I hated the class. I wasn't really accepted.
Were you new in the class?
Yes.
They all knew one another and you came as an outsider, right?
True. I only
From a lower level of education.
True. Yeah. I only knew 2 people who also managed to go to the higher level of education. But I was really new in the class. And the class was really... it was like the popularity kids in my class. And I realized that after like a couple of weeks that they were the popular kids.
And you were not?
I was not. I was really skinny back then. I was bullied because of my physical traits. And I'm ashamed to say that in this podcast, to be honest.
Where does his shame come from?
It's like I can't change anything about it. And I'm being judged for that. I was born this way. I didn't choose this. But I was bullied for something I didn't choose. So every time I looked in the mirror, I saw myself. And I saw the physical traits that I was bullied for.
And what were those? Because I don't see anything peculiar about you. So what were at that time the physical traits you thought you were bullied for?
Yeah. Oh, I were, yes.
Too skinny or whatever, a big nose or ears or really too long hair? Help me.
I feel super ashamed to say that.
Then say it silent. Then say it softly. Job, what's happening right now? It's overwhelming you, isn't it? I'm here. I don't judge. I'm curious. I just listen. I want to get inside your head and relive what you went through. And now we're here as adults, and you're safe here. So share your shame with me.
Mm-hmm. So the words they told me behind my back often in class were the most hurtful words I have ever heard, because it gave me so much stress and stomach pain, and I really feel ashamed of saying it, but they told me that I have a big forehead. I have a big head. They always told me...
Big forehead.
And a big head. I was skinny, so it was like 3 points in one.
Big forehead and a big head. Yeah. It must feel like you reveal something about yourself, which you are ashamed of. Big forehead and a big head, right? Mm-hmm. It's something I don't see, but it's something that bothered you at that time very much, and they were bullying you with this, right? And I presume constantly.
Every day.
Every day. Oh my God.
It was. I remember this. I was in biological class, biology.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to a girl that I kind of. She was really friendly, but behind my back there were two persons. I don't gonna say their names, but I know them. I know who they are.
And we know where they live, don't we?
I do.
We'll visit them.
And they told me that really loud in this class, your big head is blocking the whole screen.
Yeah.
And if you constantly heard that 6 times per day, it destroys your confidence completely.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I was told that I'm gay. I kind of believed it as well.
And they intuitively felt that there was something with your sexuality at that area. It must have felt for you that they were, in a way, seeing through you.
I really believe them.
Yeah.
But I really think that I'm bisexual. But it's still a big mystery for me.
Yeah.
But I wore makeup.
You did? That's cool.
Only foundation, because I was really not satisfied with how I looked. So I slept like 3 hours each day for a year as a result. It made me very pale skin.
3 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Only?
Yes.
And the rest of the night you were awake?
Mm-hmm. On WhatsApp.
Oh, what a hell.
Yes.
How terrible. And did your parents know about your experiences at that time?
Yes, they did.
But did they know it deeply, profoundly?
I don't think so.
Superficially. They knew you weren't happy, but they didn't know the details.
They didn't. You know, my parents are really great people. They have a lot of empathy. But I really felt neglected by them in that time. I really needed that support. Mm-hmm. I needed someone that I could explain my problems to. But one thing, my teenage brain was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm ashamed of myself. So I hid my feelings a lot. And sometimes I came back home and started crying. And then my mother gave me a hug. And then I said, I don't like school. But, you know, they give you that hug and say things that you're perfect the way you are.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't really help.
There's love there, but you didn't need love. You needed understanding and empathy and able to share your story.
Yes.
But it's not about your parents. No. They must have had the best intentions, but
they did.
Yeah, we can establish the fact that you were at that time in your life very lonely, I presume, right?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing now?
Because it's super painful to be lonely.
Yeah,
I've experienced it so many times. Even last year for a long time, because you went to a new town. You didn't always felt like an outsider in my study. And it's so painful. I have often felt different and like an outsider than most people. Mm-hmm. And I don't say this to feel special or whatever. I really deeply feel different than most people.
Yeah.
Even my sexuality, my choices I want in the future, they are mostly different than...
Yes, you are a fluid personality. Yeah.
Yes.
So how to live with your fluidity? But this is the question I won't ask you. I will ask you another question. So if you add up all those things you said, like I repeat, and when it hurts you, I'm sorry, but I think that's the purpose of this podcast.
Go ahead.
So you have a big forehead, and a big head, which is blocking the screen. And you don't belong, you're different, and you have a kind of fake sexuality. So if you combine all these words, right, which gives you a story about who you think that you are, right? Now, which of those words does really bothers you, of all these words I just mentioned?
I think the forehead thing and sexuality. Also, if you told me he doesn't know what to do with his life, it would affect
would hurt
me
too.
a lot. Yes.
So how would you describe a person who doesn't know what to do with life?
Okay. If I was 70 years old and I saw this person that dropped out 2 times of his study, I would say back then he's a failure. He doesn't know what to do with his life. He doesn't know how to study or whatever.
Okay, pause for a moment. I'll be back at you. So failure. You are a failure.
That's what I would think. It's really annoying because comparing yourself to other people is the worst thing you can do, in my opinion. Because you feel always left behind. I will graduate when I'm like 25, 26 years old, and I feel so behind my peers.
You're just pause, take a breath. You are a failure. This is what you think. This is what you think you are. On the deepest level, right? You are a failure in life.
Yes.
Is there?
Okay, it sounds so horrible, but yes,
it is horrible.
I really feel like that.
Just experience the pain and laugh at the same time, right? We can on multiple levels look at this self-image you carry with you. I am a failure, and there are some reasons. You have a big forehead and a big head, and you have a fluid sexuality, and you stop with studies, and you came new at school, and you were bullied. So there are a lot of reasons why you are a failure. But this is the self-image you carry with you. I am a failure.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And is there worse, an even more horrible word that would describe yourself than being a failure? Which is quite horrible already, but is there a worse word how you would see yourself in your darkest moments?
Someone who is not truly himself.
A phony, a fake figure.
Yes.
Pretender.
I don't know if the word is imposter syndrome, but someone who's hiding from his true identity.
Yeah, he's a kind of actor.
Faking till you make it, basically.
Yeah. But if you would be honest, then everybody would see that you are a failure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me resume to check if we are right.
Yes.
You have the self-image being a failure, and then this is something nobody wants to experience. If I would think so, I would try to hide it too. So you try to fake as if you are successful, if you know what you want to, because you don't want to be disguised as being a failure.
True, and it's really hard to fake it because normally I will end up crying or I will please others and start doing everything they want to.
Yeah, I have the assumption now in this conversation that everything you did starting from 14, 15, 16 years old is trying to give other people the impression that you are not a failure and that you know who you are and that you know what you want. That this has been the main motivator in your life.
Yes, a little bit. That's one part. That's the main driver in my life, I would say.
Yeah.
And I was also going to explain this example that when people say, "How are you?" And you say, "I'm fine." A 9 out of 10, you're not fine.
No.
So you just fake it.
Right.
Otherwise, you're confronted with so many things of their perceptions, of their beliefs, their opinions, their judgments. It's just some coping mechanism to protect myself. But also my other main driver was having this identity of weightlifting. It helped me a lot in life. It gave me a lot of advantages, but also
You
disadvantages.
look stronger, bigger, right?
And not anymore, really, but
Were you a lot bigger than you are now?
yes.
Very strong.
Also a little bit fatter.
Yeah.
Stronger.
How much did you bench press, as an aside?
My record, I really hate that exercise now, but my record was 125 kilograms, I think.
I have been weightlifting too, so I know this is an achievement. For a skinny boy and with a big forehead and being a failure, this really have given temporarily confidence, right?
Yes, it gave me like a type of identity.
Right, but it didn't help because you carried this self-image being a failure.
And I wasn't really myself.
No, you were trying to achieve a kind of image to other people,
to please others.
To please others, yeah. But I think we have the core why you are here, and something that can set you free, I hope. So this is that you have the self-image, I am a failure.
I feel like it. Yes.
Rationally, you know, this is complete bullshit, right? But emotionally, this is what you carry with you. I am a failure. I want nobody to know this. I want nobody to see this. I want to give people the impression that I know what I want. I have I know what I want to study. I know about my future. I know about my sexual identity. I'm very confident about myself.
Indeed. One part says like, please be yourself and just don't listen to the others. But it's like the logical part. But the other part is really that belief, like fake it till you make it, basically.
So you are in, like everybody who carries with him or her a negative self-image, this creates a loop, right? Because you don't want to be a failure. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to be successful to the world around you. You do your best. You start weightlifting. You choose a study. You try to persevere the study. 1 year, 2 years, you go on. But as the motivation is not what you really want to do out of yourself, but that you don't want other people to see that you are, in essence, a failure, all these projects will end after some time. And then you go back to, you see, I am a failure, which I knew all the time. This is your pattern of behavior, has shaped your pattern of behavior. Trying to hide this negative self-image, trying to create the opposite, being a successful person. And then every time when something doesn't go well, you fall back to this negative self-image.
True. Yeah, it's a negative spiral.
Yeah. It's confirming itself, this pattern. Next question, how can you free yourself out of this self-defeating pattern?
I think what really helps me is if I get out more of my comfort zone and be myself. Like, no.
So I interrupt you. This is only confirming the self. You are seeking for something to be confident, but the seeking in itself make you feel like a failure. Imagine I am you and you are a friend or somebody you know, and ask me how I feel, and then ask me why. Okay, go ahead.
How do you feel?
Oh, it's quite all right. I'm managing.
Why?
Well, I'm a failure.
Okay.
Yeah, everything.
Doesn't seem really true.
No, it's not. Being a success isn't true, but being a failure isn't true either, right? So what I give you as an option is to make fun of it, to tell it to the world. And if they ask you, why are you a failure? Don't you see? Just have a good look. I have a big forehead. For example, you can give any answer you want to, because I dropped out of 3 studies, because I had a relationship where I only pleased another guy. You have enough answers why you are a failure. But say it with a smile and expose to the world, instead of hiding this negative self-image, share with people and make fun of it. Make fun of it. Which you are
That's
looking
really
at
hard.
me and think, it's really hard because you really believe deep down that you are a failure.
Yes, and when I get judgments, I don't really have faith in this
Coping mechanism. Yeah, I'm offering you. Yeah.
Yes, and then I get really anxiety and overthinking.
No, but this is the essence of this conversation with you. You believe you are a failure, right? This is something which is very deeply ingrained into every cell of your body, because it started when you were 13, 14, and maybe sometimes before that you were this kind of awakening of your sexuality and identity. But as soon as you were 14, you knew, I don't fit in. I don't fit in. I am a failure anyway. It's very deeply ingrained into your whole system that you are a failure. But now you are 21 years old, right?
True. Yeah.
And we are sitting here as two adults. And I'm asking you a question, and I want you to give me a rational answer. A rational answer. Is this a belief, a conviction, an idea, a label? Is it language about yourself, or is it the truth?
That's a label, for sure.
Right. Is it the truth? But what's the answer?
No.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't... no, right? So now knowing, I'm now talking not to your emotional self, but now I'm talking to your rational self. Knowing that this is a belief and not a reality and not a truth, do you have the ability to take scissors and to cut between the belief and the emotional experience of this belief? Can you let go of this negative self-image? Knowing it's a word, it's a label, it's a conviction, it's not a reality. Ooh, there's a lot of work to be done here.
I have to. That's what my logical part says. I want to say, if I have these little succeeds, then I have this more confidence, and then I can prove myself. You're not a failure. You're on the right track.
You don't. I want you to leave this room and not needing successes, just being comfortable with yourself as you are. Because you will never have enough success. If you will weightlift 250 kilos, then you will think, I'm too big. It will never be good enough. Because you can never prove yourself fundamentally on an emotional level that you are not a failure. This is a dead-end street. You will never accomplish this. Never. You are still looking for success. Forget success in your life. The only one that is looking for success is the one who thinks that he is a failure. Don't look for success. Look for pleasure, what you really want to do out of yourself, which is what you said in the beginning in this conversation. What do I want out of myself, apart from what other people think of me? Don't strive for success, because the one that's striving for success is the one who is experiencing himself as a failure. Let go. What's happening right now?
A lot. Yeah, it's really true what you're saying.
For those who are listening, you are comforting yourself with your hand on your neck.
On my neck, yes.
And this is what you need, just comfort and love. And just being at ease with you. You are doing it with your own body now, and that's fine. And this is what you long for, just people loving you, accepting you as you are. And hopefully you will find someone who does so. And hopefully the first one who does so is yourself.
Yeah. Getting emotional again. I really have to love myself. And I know it's what makes me truly happy. But these insecurities of others and still that negative self-esteem, like I'm a failure, doesn't help at all.
Now, I want to tell you something about loving oneself, because this is a very big issue a lot of people struggle with. So now, hopefully, after this podcast conversation, you will not strive for loving yourself because you are successful, and that you let go of this quest. You don't have to love yourself because you are successful, because you can be successful and you can fail. This is what happens in life, and then love for yourself will continuously oscillate, So let go of this quest. But then, what is loving yourself? Now, a lot of people think that they have to completely love everything they do and everything they achieve. And this is, again, the same quest. So I will give you the idea: don't love yourself for who you are or what you do, but love the fact that you are alive, that you are here, that you exist as a person. Just love the fact that you are alive, period. Not more and not less than this. So loving the fact that you are a part of this living universe, that you are a part of, you are just here, and that's enough. You don't have to prove anything. Enjoy, hopefully, and love the fact that you are here. A lot easier than loving yourself because you are that wonderful, that lovely, that admirable, that strong, that good a dancer, that good a business administrator, or whatever. Love the fact you are here. And that's enough.
I didn't think of that. I always was looking for like an identity.
You have legs, you can walk, you can talk, you have a forehead, and you can speak, you have teeth, you have ears, you are alive. And that's it. Embrace it as a gift.
Sure.
Imagine you were father and you had yourself as a baby in your arms, and babies don't achieve anything at all. They aren't successful. They don't choose studies and become they don't bother about their sexual identity. They just are. Now imagine you holding yourself as a baby in your arms. What would you do? You would love yourself because you just are alive.
Yes.
So can you look at yourself in such a way?
I think I can.
And comforting this boy being 14 years old and then being very insecure about himself and then holding yourself like you comforted your body just a few minutes ago. It's okay. You are here and that's enough. Enjoy being alive. And if people bully you, leave them. Don't try to seek for their validation, just leave them. You are a free spirit. Don't seek for people's validation who you don't want to be validated by. Just leave them. And if you have a relationship with a person who is showing narcissistic behavior, leave him.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong in your life. Now, this all sounds quite easy, doesn't it?
It sounds so logic.
Yeah. What does it do with you, these last words?
The last one kind of hits me. That's don't look for, don't listen to the people that you don't want to validate.
Right. Expel them out of your life. You're laughing. This is something.
It sounds like just removing them.
Yeah, remove them. I don't know. Let go. Whatever word fits you or fits that person, right? Some people you have to kick them out of your life. Other people you can let go of. Ignore them. Whatever. It depends on their behavior too, right? But you are a master of with whom you want the relationship and who you don't want the relationship with. That's your choice. You have your boundaries, and that's fine. You don't need validation from other people anymore. Starting yourself. Because you are.
Yeah.
This sounds like closing words.
Yes.
Does it sound so for you too?
It does.
Can you tell me now, being at the end of this conversation, how you are sitting on your chair? What are you feeling and thinking? How is it with Job at the moment?
A little bit better. I feel like I should more appreciate that I'm alive instead of seeking for success. At the end, it doesn't matter. It's just prove for yourself. See, I'm not a failure. But it's a devastating, exhausting road. So I'm trying to let it go.
Yeah, it will take some time.
Yes, it doesn't happen right now. But
listen to the conversation again. We have recorded it, of course, and I want to give you one thing as an end statement, so to say. You are a very special kid. I say kid,
but then it sounds for me a little bit like you're special, so you have to be
this is not
special.
Now we are going into the loop we want to let go of, right? And with special, I mean different than other kids. Different, and not special in a kind of successful or brilliant or whatever.
Yeah, that's the meaning I give to special.
You are a little bit out of normal, right?
That I can accept.
Different, special, other kind of kid, feminine and masculine in the same time. And you are trying to find a way in life, like everybody does. And your path is a little bit different than the normal path or path everybody knows.
Yes.
This is a fact.
True.
And hopefully you can enjoy from now on your journey in life to find your path. You really have to find your own path. But a lot of people who think they have found a path are just duplicating the paths other people have made up for them. You are not able to do so because you are really a little bit different. Now, hopefully you can enjoy this difference, not by being special or standing out or successful, but just by being you. And that's enough. And that's hopefully a path you will embark with curiosity.
I agree with you so much.
Yeah.
I always feel like people are faking it, that they have found their career, that they have found their right study. They have a purpose, they have identity, they have clarity in their life.
These are all words, bye-bye with purpose. Okay, sometimes you do like things and sometimes you don't. And things can change, whatever. Thank you very much for opening up, and especially the part where you shared with us these for you at that time horrible words with a big forehead, it's so stupid because it's so funny, but for you it's hurtful.
It's
and hopefully
really
from now
hurtful.
on, really, and from now on, hopefully it's hurtful and funny, both, because in humor lies the liberation. Yeah, make a mug and put on it the guy, big forehead, whatever. Make fun of it. T-shirt, the guy with the big forehead. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Do you want to flip think your own problem too? In Berthold Gunster's bestseller Flip Thinking, you will learn all about the life-changing art of turning problems into opportunities. Flip Thinking is available in England, Italy, Portugal, South Korea, United States, and soon in 17 other countries too. For info, check out flipthinking.info.